Hi everyone, it's James here from Zen Software again. A quick video update for you. Today this one is on ransomware, and yes, I know you've probably been completely flooded with content via all the security vendors, social media, LinkedIn, whatever. It's hard to escape. But this short video is a quick guide specifically for MDaemon administrators. So given that the vast majority of ransomware does tend to arrive via phishing attempts, as they're known, via email, really, as an administrator, it's important to know the features that are available to you in the server that you're using, and I thought you might find some additional tips useful as well to help out. Before an email is even accepted by MDaemon, it reads the header information. So it looks at the sending IP, and the first thing it does is check that against a DNS blacklist. So repeated spammers, known bad senders are all on those lists. A really good first step to cut out a large majority of the unwanted email you might see. Out of the box, the next check that MDaemon does is for reverse DNS. So this is a record that will be held with your ISP that needs to be configured with them. But Google and Microsoft now, when anyone wants to send to their email platform, they will check for this reverse DNS record, and we're now recommending that you do the same. So you tell MDaemon that if there's no record there, don't let that mail be accepted. That's particularly good for desktop machines that have been taken over, zombified. They're not going to have a valid record, so that gets rid of a lot of the machines that you might expect to be compromised and used as potential spamming platforms. MDaemon has a nifty little feature called IP shielding. This one is designed to stop senders that look as if they're local to you but actually aren't, and as you'll see in this screenshot, we recommend you set up IP shielding for both the return path and the from header. Next up, you should be using MDaemon's SMTP authentication, so enforcing that. Anyone or anything that's trying to send through your server should have a username and password, preferably a strong one. This is it's a simple but very effective step you can take to make sure that no outside senders are sending via your email server without any credentials. MDaemon also uses two other great checks for reputation. It looks for SPF records and DKIM. There's probably an hour's webinar on that alone, so I'll point you towards our blog article here for more information on both of those. MDaemon includes Cyren's outbreak protection technology, which is the same security technology used by Microsoft, by Google, and Checkpoint, among quite a few other of the leading brands. And it uses their global network, the largest of its kind, to look for spikes. So every time a message is received, it creates a hash of that message, of the link, of the attachment, and references that in real time with this network. So the idea being, when a new threat arrives, within no time at all, 0 hour, it's detected and closed down. This is one of the most effective features we think in MDaemon, and you'll be pleased to know that it's completely hands-off, so you set it and forget about it. Okay, so at this point we haven't even accepted the message yet. That's just all done from the header information. Then we've got two virus engines, which, as you probably know, cybersecurity is basically just a high-tech game of cat and mouse, really. You want to put your trust in those vendors that you know will react quickly. Kaspersky, ClamAV, and Cyren together, we think, form a really good combination, a really good barrier to pick up malware, phishing, DDoS attacks, ransomware, the works. So, yeah, you've got a good set of technology there, we think. Okay, so let's just say a message does make it through all those layers, and we have to be honest, at some point one will. What can we do now to identify, or to help our users identify, that that's not a message they want to be clicking on? There's a feature in MDaemon which not everyone wants to use, but it's called from header modification, and it's fairly simple. Because a lot of spam, a lot of the techniques used include presenting a name in the email client, a friendly name that you recognize, so it looks for the most part as if it's come from someone you know, but then behind the scenes actually the address that's sending it is different. what MDaemon can do is switch that around. So it puts the sending address into that friendly name field. So it doesn't matter what email client you use, you'll see that address first. So it's the actual sending address. Simple but powerful, worth turning on and trying, and yeah, see what you think about using it. Now, I appreciate, as a security vendor, probably what you don't want to hear from me is that you should be telling your users and training your users that they just shouldn't click on things, but actually that is one of the most powerful tools you have against ransomware attacks, is training your users to know what to look for. It can be very simple things, and here's a quick list of some of them. Looking for misspellings in sending domains. Often they're very subtle, but just learning to check for those. Some people don't realize you can simply hover over a hyperlink to see where it goes. They should always be looking out for, whether or not they actually expected to see that email. Is it completely out of the blue? Is there an uncharacteristic urgent tone? Yes, particularly if it's from a bank, then most banks these days won't be asking for you, or certainly for you to provide your username and password. And anything that involves sending money, then that needs to be, certainly needs to be double checked. And last but not least, let's just say the worst does happen. I hope it doesn't to you guys, but a simple automated backup strategy is something that everyone should have in place, and I'm sure you do already. The important part of this is that you should also have an air-gapped backup, as it's known. Simple term, it's just about making sure that there's no link between no way for the hacker to get to your data, essentially. So just backing up to an internal hard drive or a network share isn't going to cut it. You need to make sure that you've got a USB drive, perhaps, or removable media that takes a backup and then disconnects, and you can take off site, or go for or maybe as well as go for a cloud backup service. Of course, we sell BackupAssist, so I have to mention that one. There's plenty of products out there that do the same thing, but that supports both rotating of USB drives and sending data to the cloud. So as soon as that backup job's finished, boom, that's it, connection dropped, and there's no way of linking the two. Basically, there's no way we can stop this from happening totally. We're not going to promise you that. For a start, this has only been about email security, and there are other ways, of course. Social media, this NSA exploit was slightly different. So it's not a foolproof means of protecting yourselves, but with using the right security tools in MDaemon, training your users, and having a good backup strategy, then that's some pretty solid protection right there, and sufficient, I would think, for most small businesses at least. Okay, thanks for your time, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and maybe even hit that little bell next to the subscribe button that lets you know when there's, it notifies you, I think, when there's a new video available in YouTube. Thanks again, see you soon.